The college basketball experience Big West Conference preview for 2025-26 edition on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you use our sign-up code TCESGPN. Welcome, everybody, into the college basketball experience, Big West edition. This is a fun league with some really good teams, really good programs, and good coaches that have won NCAA tournament games in the past. Can't wait to talk about this. 11 teams in the old Big West. You got a doubleheader here tonight. Coming up next, we got the WCC, and we'll break down that league right after this. But first, we'll talk Big West. I am Moneyline Mac, aka the former video coordinator for Bob Huggins and Frank Martin. Cheers, everybody. Mac tonight over here at the College Experience. Thursday night, Thursday. Here we go, baby. Joining me to talk Big West hoops from the great state of Michigan. He is a LeBaron driving, cocktail napkin having. He is Noah Bienick, aka Noah B77. What's up, brother?
Nothing too much, Mac. Ready to knock out a double header out on the West Coast today. Big West WCC we're going to knock out in the next hour or two. Big West is super fun. Colby's not going to tell you this, but the reason why the quality in this league and WCC are the floor is definitely raising, the ceiling's raising too. Some of them don't have ball teams, so they can spend that rev share money somewhere else.
Basketball and baseball, indeed. And third man in the booth, as he's in the DMV, he is the green mowing, weed growing, Troy Tuning. What's up, brother?
What's going on? It's actually a triple header for Mac because we're going to do these two, and then he's going to go out to the college bar with all the college chicks and just get smashed. It's a triple header. I also, when we did Mac tonight, Noah, I realized I was ACC Men's Tournament Cup from the best home field advantage in the entire Big East, Capital One Arena.
What just happened? Shout out to
that was all you, buddy.
Was that the chat? The chat was in the show.
I don't know. That was kind of cool. How did I do that?
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Nice. We can add the whole chat.
New feature this year. Sorry, Troy, while you were breaking down Caps Arena, but yes, I will be out on the town as pretty predicted. So
with the late night pick shows, there's a reason why every comment shouldn't be displayed. So we'll just keep it off.
That's it. I like that for the season though. When we get there,
you just gotta make sure that somebody doesn't drop the.
There's a reason why it shouldn't be displayed as well. For
true.
For people that ruin it for everybody.
Somebody like me that's liable to say something that probably shouldn't pop up.
True. All right, let's talk Big West hoops. So yes, I am bad. By the way, I had an eye doctor appointment. So like they put these drops in my eyes, and
your eyes are dilated.
Yeah, for the next 3 hours. So shit's like weird up close, but like if I look in the distance, it's fine. It's a good night to wear the shades out on the town. I think you gave me a reason to have the shades, so I'll be rocking it, baby. USA hat, shades. Here we go. Bienick, how we do in the Big West?
Yeah, I personally do not love my eyes being dilated either. I'm in the same boat with you, buddy. Last year, not a great year because we had UC Irvine sweeping and UC San Diego sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, sorry, you had Irvine sweeping. I had Irvine as my regular season champion. I picked UC San Diego to win the tournament. Then we had sleeper-wise, you had Fullerton, which was not a great pick. They finished 1-19 in the league. And I had Hawaii, which was also not a great pick. They were picked 7th in the preseason poll. I had them 5th, and they finished third last in 7-13 in the league. The bust or disappointment, Mac, you were also played the reverse card here. You had Northridge picked 10th, and they finished tied for third. And then I had Barbara. I said I don't think they're going to have the bottom fall out of them, but they were picked second, and I said no way this year. And they finished fifth. I had them picked fourth, so I think that was a check in the box there. But yeah, that was in total just a 20%, I believe, 25%. Not great in the conference preview last year, Mac. Let's do a little bit better this time around, right?
Laser focus this year. Let's go, Big West. Troy, any thoughts on the Big West before we dive into team number one, a.k.a. Cal Poly, the Mustangs?
I was going to say, Bienick, we're going to have to flag these two previews and see if Mac's dilated eyes allow him to see the board better. Because if he's got a big increase, maybe we just get those eye drops and Mac takes him before every pick show.
I like the sound of that. Although I don't really like this random blurriness, like when I'm looking at the screen. So if I accidentally hit like end stream, that's what happened. So yeah,
you accidentally hit the stream button.
I think that's what happened. All of a sudden, I was like, "What does this button do? Is this touch screen?" So yeah. All right, let's talk. Cal Poly here. But first, the NBA tipped off this week. There is some weed in the NBA. There's a lot of shit going on in the NBA if you have been living under a rock.
I'm really enjoying all the shitstorm in NBA right now.
If you want to go join the mafia and the load management, go over to the NBA Gambling Podcast where they will break down who is rigging the games and who is betting on their own player props. So get on over there to the NBA Gambling Podcast. Good luck to those guys this year for Daily Pick Podcast. Tune into the NBA Gambling Podcast wherever you get your podcast today. In all seriousness, a really good show. They got their work cut out for them this year with this shit show of a league right now going on here. Chauncey Billups. Let's move along here.
Detroit legend.
I know. Yeah, Bienick, do you have anything to say for your boy Chauncey Billups?
Dude, I need one of those pairs of X-ray glasses for my home games of poker.
Yeah, I wonder if Chauncey has the Dub Club. We need to get on Chauncey's Dub Club.
He goes, keep talking.
Keep talking. Yeah, you want to know why his eyes are dilated? This is a problem with the baby laxative. When you cut it with baby laxative, you got to go to the bathroom all the time. That's the real reason. See, Mac, I've already figured this out. Oh, he's going sunglasses.
There you go.
Maybe you're going to get banned from YouTube like TikTok.
I don't have the USA hat on, so they're not going to cancel me, hopefully, on this YouTube. Yeah. So, yeah, what a day. I mean, what a couple weeks here. Just fucking getting hit left and right by cars, and then you're banned on TikTok. What a world we live in. But anyway, I'll tell you where life is good. That is in Cal Poly, because that was a nice year for them last year with DeGeorge coming over here. 16-19 last year. They finish tied for 7th, 8-12, but they were chippy. They were a covering machine to start the game or start the year. Cal Poly was awful, if everybody remembers, before DeGeorge got there. They formed an identity last year, and I like this team, and I like the trajectory of this program. 4-28 the year before he got there, so that's a 12-game improvement, Noah.
Yeah, it is. Mike DeGeorge also brought in quite a few starters from Colorado Mesa, where he was coaching previously. So we were betting on like instant continuity that would in turn like help us out. And they, like you mentioned, they were covering machine early on in the year. This year they do have some returners. They returned one starter and 6 guys that played double-digit minutes. That's the most returning minutes in the league. This is a league that does not return a whole lot from a season ago, but the roster here is still super young, and there's inexperienced depth as they bring in a sizable freshman class for college basketball. The one returner is Peter Bandelay. His freshman year for Cal Poly, he played 25 minutes a game, averaged 10.5 points, 4.5 boards, 2.5 assists, shot 32% from 3-on-3 attempts per game. And then some of the other guys that played double-digit minutes a game. Caden Ward, he shot 35% from 3-on-3 attempts a game. He only played 16.5 minutes a game his freshman year. Kieran Elliott, who's a 6'6" junior wing, played 15 minutes a game last year, averaged 5.5 and 3.5. Aaron Price Jr. is a 6'8" senior big man who played 11 minutes a game last year. Guzman Vasilic is a 6'4" sophomore, played 17.5 minutes his freshman year, hit 35.5% of his threes, took three of them a game. And then Luka Tarlach is a 6'7" senior, played 14.5 minutes a game last year. They do bring in Hamad Musa, who was a freshman at Dayton last year, only played 7.5 minutes a game, but he provides really good depth in the front court, and he might even carve out a starter's role here. And they also bring in Jake Davis from West Valley Junior College. He averaged 15 points per game, 5 boards, 2 assists there. He's a 6'4" junior guard. Jason Scott is an incoming freshman that they're relatively high about. We'll see either him or Bandelay run the point for this Cal Poly Mustangs team. Overall, I like the returning production and continuity. This team runs really fast. Last year, 3rd fastest tempo in the country. This year, I'm not quite sure if they've got the defense that will keep them in the games, because sometimes you may be going too fast, not putting enough points in the hoop, and then now in turn you're getting blown out. And I have some worry about that with Cal Poly this year, but I got him in the middle of the pack. I like DeGeorge and what he was able to do in year 1 at Cal Poly. A really successful year for the Mustangs that has not had a ton recently. Troy, how do you feel about Cal Poly?
Well, when we were doing some of the pregame shows early in the year last year, their team total was set as if they had the same coach as the year before. So we were able to hammer some of the team total overs on Cal Poly that I'm pretty sure the first couple they cleared by like 15 to 20 points, because we knew that DeGeorge was going to have these guys run up and down. I mean, they're a fast and fun team. One thing kind of funny that stands out to me is that the freshman Troy Plumley, he'll be hilarious in interviews because he's got a pretty bad New Zealand accent.
So Bienick, where did you say you have this team finishing?
I've got them in the middle because I am a little bit worried about the defense here this year for Cal Poly.
They were a lot of high variance last year. I tend to agree. I mean, they finished 8th last year, but I like the track record of DeGeorge a lot. I mean, coming over from Colorado Mesa, where he was 141 and 43. Rhodes, he won a bunch of games there. Cornell, not the Ivy League Cornell, the one in Iowa, the Iowa Conference. He really elevated that program. He's got 300 plus wins in his resume for a reason, man. I think he's a pretty damn good coach, and I think he's slowly building this program into his identity. So put me around a 500 type of year for DeGeorge Company with these Mustangs.
Yeah, my biggest thing is like their guards are big, but I don't think they've got a true defensive big man, and that's really going to hurt.
Agreed. Bakersfield. Wow. So Rod Barnes was the head coach of this program for a very long time, since 2011, where he was 210 and 231, went to an NCAA tournament, won the regular season in 2017, got to the tournament in 2016. They had been a below 500 program really since joining the Big West here. And then, well, some things happened in this offseason, and here we are with Mike Scott getting the interim bump. I mean, yes, that is the only picture I could find of Mike Scott that was not blurry and had a little bit of high resolution here. So, no, I don't know what we do with this team, man. Offseason turmoil, a lot of distractions. Clark, terrible court, as he says in the chat.
Yeah.
Things are not very good at Bakersfield right now.
You look on paper, and the team's actually kind of promising. Last year, they went 8-12 in the conference, and I would have been a little bit more positive and possibly predicting more wins in conference this year. They return one starter and have a rotation of possibly 6 seniors, 8 upperclassmen. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about Mike Scott's background. There's not much that I could find. The biggest piece for them, that one returning starter, is CJ Hardy, and he's going to step into the point guard role. He shot 44.5% from three last year. Played 24.5 minutes a game, averaged 9.5 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. And then your other seniors, Dallin Smith transfers in from Alabama A&M. AJ George comes in from SMU. Both of them like big guards. Smith has a little bit of defense to his game as well. You've got Ron Jessamy, a junior, coming in from Tennessee State, where he played 18.5 minutes a game. Pierre Ganeste Jr., I don't know if I drilled that name, but he comes in from Fresno State. He's a 6'11 senior forward. Caleb McCarty transfers in from South Carolina State, where he played 18 minutes a game for the Bulldogs last year. He's a 6'8 graduate senior forward. Other returners that played some minutes last year, Tom Mark played 16 minutes a game. He's a 6'7 grad wing. You've got Jaden Alexander, who's a 6'4 redshirt junior, played 18 minutes a game last year. And then Cater Waller, who is a 5'11 graduate senior guard, who averaged 2 assists a game in 17.5 minutes. The roster's not bad. That's not what is like, the tough part about trying to predict how well this is going to go. It's Scott and this whole situation at Bakersfield right now. Yeah, I don't know where to put him. I've got him in the basement. And if they finish higher than that, consider me 1, surprised, and 2, impressed.
Yeah, if I don't have them in the bottom of my 3-tier little system that I do, but I have them at the very bottom of the mid-tier, which could very possibly be just as likely to be in the bottom. I do like AJ George's game. I mean, just being big out on the wing is kind of nice. I think they're hoping, you said CJ Hardy's probably going to run the point. Maybe the kid, that Bentley Waller kid that redshirted, maybe he, staying around might have a little bit of help with the ball control. But this one is it's not even really a toss-up to me. It's kind of like fade them right away in the beginning of the year. And, maybe they develop a little bit. But I also don't have high expectations here, Noah.
Yeah, there's just so many distractions, and I mean, last year they haven't finished above 500 in the Big West since what, the bubble year. So I don't see how you can buy into this team with just all the moving pieces here. I know from a roster standpoint, maybe you could argue that they could be middle of the pack, but Scott, year one, these circumstances, no, thank you, I'll fade them. Dedrique Taylor coming over here at Fullerton, and yeah, I mean, he really screwed me last year when I said they're going to be the sleeper, and they finished 6-26, 1-19 in conference play, finished 11th. They had a high floor, I thought, before the last 2 years. They really went on a nice run there from 2013 to 2023, basically a whole decade of finishing in the top half of this league, but last 2 years, the bottom has fallen out, going 8-32 in league games. Noah, do they bounce back here, these Titans?
No, last place. They're totally rebuilding.
That's not very good.
No, I don't think they're going to be very good at all. You've got 4 senior transfers coming in, and that's going to be the core of this team. Everybody else is freshmen. Like, legitimately, they've got 7 or 8 guys that have not played a single year of college basketball that they're going to try to build their, the program around. The floor is just really bottomed out on this program and on Dedrique Taylor. The senior transfers, 3 of them are D2 guys. Joshua Ward comes in from Palm Beach Atlantic, where he played 32 minutes a game, averaged 15, 5, and 4 with over a steal and a half a game. Jaden Henderson played 34 minutes a game at D2 Concordia Irvine, where he averaged 17.5 points, 4 boards, 2.5 assists. Jefferson de la Cruz Monegro transfers in from Valparaiso. He averaged 10 and 3, shot 32% from 3-on-3 attempts a game with the what are they now? The Beacons or whatever. Landon Seaman is a D2 transfer from Menlo. He shot 53.5% from the floor in 20 minutes a game. 20 points per game, 7 boards a game, and 33 minutes a game. He's a 6'8" graduate senior forward. Those 4 are your core. Kendrick De Luna returns from last season. He's a 6'10" junior forward who played 24 minutes a game. And then Bailey Nunn is a 6-foot junior guard, comes in from Sacramento State, who is not very good in a lot of runway there last year. So he was not a very efficient piece. They've got 2 other JUCO guys, Davis White from College of Sequoias and Yasan Warren from Frank Phillips Junior College. Warren doesn't have a whole lot of scoring to his game, but he's a pretty good point guard. We'll see how much time he gets. But it's just a super young team that lacks D1 experience. And Dedrique Taylor only won 1 game last year. I don't know how you can predict this squad to do much better, guys.
And the one senior transfer from Valpo, you nailed that name. That's the first one that you've rolled the R on and everything, Noah. I think De La Cruz Monegro I ordered a pair of knockoff shoes one time, and that's where they said they were made. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at this roster and trying to find at least something that I liked. There's not really too much here. I don't disagree at all with the dead last. We can maybe write a program to just auto fade this team all year and then see what the returns are.
Yeah, they'll be in the basement for me. I'm not going to be fooled into these Titans again. You look at returning production, it doesn't exist. Or arguably the youngest team going into next year. Kind of feels like Taylor's on the hot seat here. So back-to-back teams, very, very out on, I feel like, as a group.
Really
and I
bold to attempt to rebuild while you're on the hot seat.
This is when there was a
this is a FBI Fed alert.
This was the rigged game. I swear to God. When they were catching like 17.5 and they had the lead at the under 12 mark and they didn't cover the fucking game.
And that was a lock battle that I won.
Yeah, you fucking prick. You fucking lucky son of a bitch.
Yeah, they were up double digits with 10-ish or plus minutes to go, and they lost by
20,
like 18. Yeah,
it's ridiculous. I was like, "What?" I go, that game needs to be investigated. And there was another game early in the year that needed to be investigated.
They had more than one game last year.
I'm gonna pull it up because I remember the exact game. I'm
gonna say I'm pretty sure they lost that one by 18 because they lost it right on the number.
They were 1.5 point favorites against Idaho State, and they won by 1. They were 0-4. And they missed like 6 free throws in a row to ice the game. And it was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, they just started turning the ball over on the inbounds. And it was like, all right, this game needs to be investigated. So, yeah. Fullerton, you'll be seeing them on the FBI report. Next up here, actually, let's hit an ad break real quick before we talk Andy Newman and Northridge. Really good program. So, over here at the College Experience, we are brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie.ag is your place to bet on football and basketball and everywhere else. Their prop builder is second to none. Their motto is bet on anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head over to MyBookie.ag and use our promo code TCESPN for a 100% bet back bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's MyBookie.ag. Promo code TCESPN. And we're also brought to you by Novig. Novig is America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig is your place for best prices. Available in 35-plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5. And you can use our promo code SGPN. Get in on the action with Novig. Promo code SGPN. All right, I mentioned it. Next up here, we will be high on this team. Northridge, the Matadors here. Andy Newman doing a hell of a job. Headed into now year number 3 here. Over the last couple of years, they were 19-15, 22-11. He was at Fullerton for a brief minute back in the day, but at Cal State San Bernardino, he was 91-30. They got to a Final Four. Another guy that brought some players over right away, got the thing going. Newman has flipped Northridge into a contender in this league, finishing third last year. And they were chippy the first year when they finished seventh. Noah?
Yeah, for sure. Last year, second best offense in the league, fourth best defense. They returned one starter from that group, but there's most likely going to be 6 seniors in this rotation. Last year, the tempo was through the roof, and the Big West is not a very fast moving conference. Actually, the majority of the teams prefer a slower tempo, but you had Cal Poly, who was third fastest, and Northridge, who was the 8th fastest tempo in the country. And I think that works to their advantage at some points, because it can be tough to prep for when you only run into one or two of these teams in a given season for your conference play. The returning starter, Mahmoud Fafana, played 26 minutes a game. He's a 6'6" senior forward. He averaged 8 and 5 last year, shot 58% from the floor. Grady Lewis also comes back from the team last year. He played 13 and a half minutes. He's a 6'9" senior that is expected to start at the 5. He also shot 58.5% from the floor. I'm nervous about the front court, and especially the front court defense. These are both offensive forwards, in my opinion. 2 other returners that come back that didn't play a whole lot last year. Jordan Brinson, a 6'2" graduate senior guard, and Jalen Barbie, a 6'6" senior, who can shoot it a little bit there, but only got 4 minutes a game last season. The strength of this team is the senior backcourt of transfers. There's 3 of them. You've got Josiah Davis transferred in from Niagara. He averaged 3 assists a game in 28 minutes. He's a 6'3" senior point guard. Shot 45.5% from the floor. He's more of your downhill guard, and then he's surrounded by 2 guards that can shoot it from the outside. Larry Hughes Jr. From St. Louis. He didn't get a lot of burn, but there was quite some hype around him going into last season with the Billikens. I believe he got hurt. He shot 34.5% from 3 on 3.5 attempts a game. I'm expecting a big season from Hughes. And then Josh Ogaro transferred in from Texas State. He played 30 minutes a game. He's a 6'6" senior wing, averaged 9.5 points, 7 boards, 1.5 assists a game, shot 45% from the floor, 33.5% from deep on 2 attempts a game with the Bobcats last year. You've also got some buy lows on some down transfers in Alexander Schmidchek. There's no way I pronounced that right, but he comes in from Charlotte. He's a 6'10" redshirt junior forward who I think could possibly play into a bigger role here with CSUN. And then James Evans Jr., who's a 6'4" sophomore. He transfers in from UNLV after not playing a game with them last year. 2 other JUCO guys, Davius Lowry, who put up 12 and 6 with 3 assists a game at John A. Logan, a very solid JUCO. And then Jai Chisholm comes in from South California, Salkehatchie. Averaged 18 points per game, 7.5 boards, 2 assists. He's a 6'3" junior guard. Guys, there's depth, there's experience in this roster. I really like it. I got CSUN in the top 5 for me personally.
Yeah, I agree with that top 5 for sure. This was one of the ones that I want to put them in the high tier. I don't know if they can quite get there. Does that mean that my high tier is only 3 or 4 teams? You know, the whole idea of that, but they're going to be at the top of this league. Worrying about the defense of the front court, I think they might be able to counter that a little bit. You see how big their guards are on this roster, Noah? They're all like 6'3", 6'5", 6'4", 6'6". They've got some really big guards. And of course, Larry Hughes, that's 100% Larry Hughes' son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit in the bloodline that's going to help him out.
Yeah, I definitely top 5, and I think with just some of the coaching turnover over the last couple of years, like some continuity, at least on the coaching staff with Andy Newman coming back for his 3rd year, they've progressed each of the first 2 years. I like him top. I think I'm gonna have him in my top 4. I know it's kind of a new group, but I like some of the transfers they bring in. Josiah Davis started at West Virginia, so he was a highly touted player. So I like Northridge here out there in the Big West.
No, I think you pronounced that other last name. You'll just say Smizik. Believe it or not.
No reaction from Bienick.
For all the future times that you'll be rolling through the entire roster and having to say his name.
For the podcast audio, I was just nodding my head and like understanding. Okay.
I was just like giving the floor to Noah to sit, like reply, and I'm like, okay, there we go.
Honestly, I was like looking at the next team's roster and kind of getting we're doing stuff in the back end here too.
Oh yeah. You were looking at these Rainbow Warriors.
Yes, sir.
Eran,
my Rainbow Warriors.
Do you know how to pronounce his name? I always butcher his name. I think it's Eran Ganot.
I think it's Ganot.
Oh wow, not even close. Anyway, Ganot is in year number 11 at Hawaii. He did a great job in his first year. He was an interim coach. He took him to the NCAA tournament round of 32. They had been a model of consistency for basically a decade. Last year was their first losing season in conference play in 10 years. So
and I was all the way bought in. They were my sleeper last year.
yeah. So that really is an X when it was considered their first losing season in 10 years in league play. So rare down year. You got to think Ganot and company bounce back. Look at they're always. I will say, Hawaii over the years has had some really good teams in the non-con, and they wear down throughout the year. I think because of travel.
Yeah, I don't think that's a very bold, statement. I do think that. Yeah, or observation. Yeah, like I do think that is definitely a factor. Because when they're on the mainland, they, or I should say, when they're on the island, they are so much better defensively, and they fly out, and they just, especially the double leggers, whenever they hit like a back-to-back road game, which typically happens when they hit the road, it's rough. But I actually like this team a lot again this year. I'm going to go all the way back in, and I think their portal is actually the best portal class, or one of the best portal classes in the Big West. You look at some of the programs that they bring in these guys from. Yes, they had losing seasons last year in the high majors, but they're still high major players. Hunter Erickson, a 6'3" graduate senior guard from Utah. He shot 34.5% from three. Played 18 minutes a game last year for the Utes. Yassine Toomey was a big defensive piece for Seton Hall last year. He provided really good depth for them. He's a 6'10" graduate senior, played 16.5 minutes a game for the Pirates. I think he's going to be huge off the bench to help Gaitis, who's their best player. Gaitis Namexa, who entered the portal but comes back to Hawaii, and he's a 6'8" senior front court player, but he could do a little bit of everything. He could step out and shoot a three ball, shot at 32% on 3 attempts per game last year, put up 12.5 points, 5.5 boards, can pass it a little bit too. He's really good defense, but just you got to keep him out of foul trouble, and that was a little bit of an issue with Hawaii last year. You bring in Toomey to provide some good defense, and then also you got the 7-footer from Utah State and Isaac Johnson. They're really addressing the depth at the 5 and being able to play physical there, and we'll see how that plays out. I like what they're doing with this portal class. Quandre Bullock also comes in from South Dakota. He was a good shooter with the Coyotes last year. Took 4.5 threes a game and hit him at a 32%, 44% from the floor. He played 23 minutes a game, averaged 12 points, 3.5 boards, over an assist, over a steal per game as well. Does a little bit of everything for you. They return a point guard from the program last year, in Aaron Hunkin-Clater. They're expecting him to step up into the starting role this season. Last year, in his freshman year, he played 18 minutes a game. He's 6'3" guard. Looking for a little bit more out of him this season, along with Harry Rouliadef, who's a 6'9" senior forward, played 18.5 minutes a game last year. Rounding out the transfer portal was Isaiah Kerr from Chico State, a Division II school. He played 33 minutes a game, averaged 13, 4, and 3 there. Tanner Cuff comes in from Evansville. He played 33 minutes a game for the Purple Aces. He's a 6'7" graduate senior forward who averaged 9 and 6 with 3 assists out of the front court. Isaac Finlinson is a JUCO transfer out of Snow. They were a really good team last year. He was ranked 34th in JUCOrecruiting.com, averaged 18.5, 6.5, and 1.5 assists a game. And then Jalen Myers from Norfolk State. He played 25 minutes a game for an NCAA tournament team last year, provides a little bit of shooting. Hawaii's got some of the best depth in the conference, in my opinion. There's plenty of seniors on this team as well, which is always a plus. And it's also supplemented by some returning production and Gaitis Nemeksa, who might be one of your best players in the conference this year. So I'm bought in on Hawaii again. I am cautiously optimistic. I've got them as a contender this year.
Going back to the well.
Yeah. All the way. My Rainbow Warriors, baby.
I will be joining you at the well, Noah. I've got pretty high expectations for this team. Like you said, probably the best transfer class by a pretty big step in this conference. I would also say you pronounce his name Eran Ganot. I would assume that he, being from Brooklyn, would make him Jewish, and it would be like you think Gal Gadot would be pronounced Gal Gadot, but it's not French. So I think this is just Ganot. I haven't heard an announcer or anything say it. I'm just making an assumption. But yeah, the adjustment of the depth is really going to help on those second double leggers when they're off the island. So, it's still going to be hard to travel and all of that, but I think that you might see them tough out a few more wins just strictly due to that depth. We've got guys, for lack of a better word, step down in the transfer portal always seems to be a little bit more believable going into the season than some of the dudes that you're expecting to take a step forward or come from like a lower level conference. But yeah, I will be joining you at the well here, Noah. I might just pick them to win the conference, to be honest. Nobody else is going to, so why not?
Yeah, I definitely think that they bounce back and they're a 20-win team again. That like I said, that 15 wins was an outlier compared to what they've been under Ganot over the 10 years. So I have them in my top 4, top 5 once again, and I don't think it's crazy to pick them to win the league. I think there are maybe a team or two that are better and more experienced and have more proven coaches, but
yeah.
This has been a top half of the league program for a decade. So, yeah, Rainbow Warriors bounce back in a big way.
For sure.
All right, let's go over to the dirt bags, baby, on the diamond.
Yes,
but this is on the hardwood with Chris Acker.
Still should be the dirt bags.
Oh, they should be.
They're better than the beach.
It's terrible. Acker, tough year one. 7-25, 3-17 in league play. He is a Dutcher guy at from San Diego State, and then also worked for Leon Rice. And he actually also worked for Ganot over at Hawaii. So, I mean, I like the hire when it happened with coming over from Dutcher's staff and staying in the state of California. But obviously a tough first year. Do we get a big jump here in year 2, Noah?
No, I don't think so, because the identity of this team last year should have been pretty good defense, and that's what we were talking about in the preview, and it just didn't pan out at all. Second worst defense in the league, and they only bring back one guy from that team. That's 6'10" junior forward Derek Michael Xaviero. And yeah, he's a great rim protector for this league, one of your better ones that you're going to find in the Big West. But I don't know if they supplemented him with enough pieces, because everybody else on this team it's basically a transfer portal team. You've got Isaiah Lewis coming in from Little Rock, who's going to be the point guard. He's a very good on-ball defender. Shaquille Bender is a Manhattan transfer who did not shoot it well last year. Neither did Lewis, for what it's worth. But Bender was one of Manhattan's better scorers last year. Played 31.5 minutes for the Jaspers, averaged 11 points, 3.5 boards, 2 assists. Cole Farrell is their best shooter. Shot 37.5% on 2 attempts a game last year for Portland State. They're going to look for him to up the volume there and be an important piece on the wing. He's a 6'5 junior. Pedar Majstorovic transfers in from Syracuse, where he had played just 13 and a half minutes a game his freshman year. They were really high on this kid to do a little bit of everything for him. We'll see what happens because it's an interesting gamble of coming in. A couple of these guys coming in from the Northeast into Long Beach, and it's quite the I would say a different scene and setting for these guys. But yeah, he could be a super talented year 2 guy for sure in this league. Rob Diaz III is a D2 transfer from Cal Poly Humboldt. He played 33 minutes a game last year, shot 36.5% from 3, 51.5% from the floor, averaged 16, 4, and 2, with almost 2 steals a game as well. Grant Gondrejczyk is a Detroit Mercy transfer. He played 23 minutes a game his freshman year, shot 41.5% from 3 on 2.5 attempts a game. DeMarshe Johnson is a 6'10 senior forward, transferring in from San Diego State. Talking about the connection with Dutcher there with the Aztecs, where he previously was an assistant coach. And JJ Tchaikovsky, redshirted last year for Cal State Northridge. He transfers in. Christian Jones is a JUCO transfer from Angelina that rounds out this class. He averaged 10.5, 4, and 1.5 assists a game last season. For me, I've got Long Beach State down in the bottom half of the standings. I got to see it from Acker here because, sure, there could have been some reason for optimism if they brought more back from last year's team. But at the same time, they weren't even very good defensively, and that should have been the identity. So I am very hesitant to buy into the Beach this season.
It's a good thing they got a hospital transfer to give out the free needles that they need over there in Long Beach. The problem with bringing back people from last year's team is all they did last year was just turn the ball over. Like, I think they were bottom 10 in total turnovers in all of D1. They were just giving the ball away, and it's kind of the only note that I had on this team for this preview. I've got them pretty far down. Again, looking at the roster, there's, a couple of guys they'll be depending on, but depth is going to be an issue. When you got a kid named Dallas Washington on your team, that's like me rooting for the Cowboys but living in DC. Dallas Washington's a weird name. You got to pick one or the other. But yeah, I don't have them that high. We'll say that.
It's a complete overhaul roster.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed to overhaul the roster. So I have them in the bottom. I got to see it from Acker and company. You mentioned it, not very good defensively. They need to make a jump here defensively if they're going to take a jump in this league. I'll tell you where else you can make a jump, and that's over at our friends Underdog. Underdog Fantasy is a great place to play. Fantasy pick'em where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite player stats. Available for a ton of different sports. Brand new offer for customers. Play just $5 and get 100 in bonus funds when you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN. And we're also brought to you by our friends over at Rhythm. It's crushing it in college football and NFL, soon to be college hoops, picks and props. Also giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. Track 5 bets on the same type from any model you can build, and you can win up to $1,000. Use our promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download the Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. Next up on the dock, we got Jim Les and UC Davis here. Jim Les, former NBA player. So Colby's a big fan of Jim Les. Jim Les has been at UC Davis since 2011. He was at Bradley before that. Former member of the Utah Jazz and Atlanta Hawks. He got drafted by the Hawks. 364 and 356 overall. In Big West play, they've been a solid program right around the middle of the pack since over the last 5-6 years. They did win it twice in 2015 and 18. Had another second place finish in 17. Bienick, do they hover around the middle of the pack, or does Les get them back into contention here in year number? Boy, this is year number 16 or 15.
I've got them hovering. He's had back-to-back top 3 defenses in the league, but they've really lacked offensive talent. Impressive job keeping some of the guys on the roster, though. They've got some pretty good continuity. They return a starter in Connor Sevilla, who played 29 minutes a game, shot 36% from 3 on 5.5 attempts. And they bring in a point guard to help him out. But I'll touch on the other returners. Carl Daughtry Jr., 6'3" senior guard, played 17.5 minutes a game last year. Niles Cooper, a 6'6" junior forward, played 18 minutes a game. Nico Rochak, a 6'9" graduate senior big man who played 25 minutes a game last year, shot 51.5% from the floor. And then Isaiah Chappell played 9.5 minutes a game his freshman year. They have Sevilla coming back, who is a pretty good shooter for them, and they went to the portal to address the offense, and we'll see how well it does. They got Braden Fabimi, who's just a true point guard, 4.5 assists a game last year for Central Arkansas, played 33 minutes, 11.5 points, 4 boards, as a 6-foot junior, and he's an active defender as well. Really fits into the system where they've been really good over the years. They've got another potential point guard in a JUCO transfer from Modesto, Elan Eso-Esi, who put up 15.5 points per game, 8 boards, 2 assists. And then Cyril Franklin, a 6'5" sophomore from Southern Nevada, could also play the point. He put up 14 points per game, 5.5 boards, and 4 assists a game. They also add some depth in the front court. This is honestly, Rochak was a good rim defender for them last year, one of the best in the league, averaged just under 2 blocks a game. And then you have Jonathan, no shot pronouncing this correctly, Nujidi from Coahoma.
I think you got it.
He averaged just under 2 blocks a game as well. And yeah, he provides some really good depth at the 5 and is another really good defensive piece who is a better rebounder than Rochak and has a little bit more offensive talent. So we'll see how that plays out. Might be a little bit of battle for the starting role there. But I do like how they supplemented this roster with a little bit more offensive pop. There's some returning continuity in this roster. I've got them at 500 or a little bit above, but I don't think that this is a roster good enough on the offensive side to have them in like a top 4, top 5 conversation in the Big West.
I definitely don't have them in the top 4 and the top 5. I think that this is also a hover. I know Jim Less is Colby's guy, but man, there's not too much that stands out about this roster, especially, I mean, we've already gone through some other teams that at least have main dudes to lean on. Maybe they can run a little bit and provide a little more offense just because of the transfers that they got, like Noah mentioned, but I'm not mega high or mega low on this team. I'm pretty right down the middle here on UC Davis. So I kind of see a little bit of stagnation.
I have them. I think I have them towards the middle again. I know it's not really a hot take. That's what they've been, but they're going to be good defensively. They're going to be disciplined. Can they make a jump? Maybe, but I kind of see around that 17, 18 win mark in a 20-game conference season. I kind of see a 11-9 team. So more of the median here for Jim Less in your number 15.
That is probably a little bit of my bias, like Clark brings up, that the fact that the roster is so many international guys, I already kind of don't know anything about them. And I like to, roster handicap a little bit going into the early part of the year. So definitely unknown.
Definitely a lot unknown. And they are relying on a bunch of guys to step up into new roles within their program. So next up on the dock, we got, this is a good program. Russell Turner over there at Irvine. As you can see, very successful last year, 32-7, NIT runner-up. 17-3. That was only good enough for second, though, because the Tridents were dominant, sweeping both regular season and postseason. Year before that, they win the regular. Actually, last 2 years before that, They win the regular season at 15-5, 17-3. They have not been to the NCAA tournament in over 5 years, compared to back in the mid 2010s and 2019, where it felt like they were knocking on the door each and every year of the tournament. And they won a game in 2019 over Kansas State, I believe. So Turner's teams always have size. They're good defensively. Bienick, are they the team to beat here again in the Big West?
I think so. Experience and continuity wins in mid-major basketball. And these guys bring back 8 players from a season ago. 5 of them played double-digit minutes. And you could possibly count Darren Saran as a returner because he began his college career with UC Irvine, and he's expected to take over the point guard position for Russell Turner's Anteaters. Yeah, there's a lot to like here with the proven track record of player development within UCI's program. You've got to love it. Andre Henry, Langston Redfield, Urian Dixon all played 20 minutes a game last year and are back. Kyle Evans and Torian Lee both played more than 10 minutes a game and are back. Evans was a really good rim protector as a 6'10 senior center. Also shot 67% from the floor in limited minutes. He only got 12 minutes a game, but he averaged over a block per game. And Lee was a really good shooter off the bench. He shot 37.5% from 3 on 2.5 attempts a game. You've got Ben Egbo, Akiva McBurney Griffin, and Eli Chol all coming back. They played under 10 minutes a game for the Anteaters last year, but are expected to possibly be rotational players for them this year. Harrison Carrington is a Colorado transfer that may fit in on the wing. He's 6'7", redshirt junior, played 9 minutes a game for the Buffaloes last year. They're relatively high on him as well. I mean, there's not really much more to add. There's a lot of trust in Russell Turner that I have. You know, him and UC Irvine have had 5 straight top 80 defenses nationally, 9 straight top 3 defenses in the Big West, and 6 times the Anteaters have had Ken Palm's top rated defense in this league. Let's bet on returning production, continuity, and a really good program with honestly the best coach remaining in this conference. UC Irvine, I think, is your front runner.
Yeah, and you can tell how good of a program they are, returning all of that and still getting, I think they had somebody redshirt that was a freshman last year. They've got a couple of good freshmen that'll stay probably within the program and just reload again into the next year. Yeah, my brazen Hawaii take is always brought back whenever I see Russell Turner, and UC Irvine's always going to have a good program here. Pretty good point by Clark. The Tama Isaac kid, I believe, is who he's talking about being a really good shooter, the New Zealand guy. But again, international guys, not my forte. Harrison Carrington should fit in the way they like to play. You brought that up. Noah, but I kind of expect Urian Dixon to make a step. He's been around the program a little bit. That's a guy that I'm looking for to kind of elevate it a little bit. But yes, this is definitely a high tier program.
It really is. I know they lost some key pieces off that 32-win team, but they reload in this program. They have an identity. They're going to defend. They're going to control the glass. That's what Turner's teams have done at Irvine. I have them right there to win the league. Probably going to pick them to win the league in the regular season. Let's stay in the state of California. Let's go over to UC Riverside, year number 1 of Gus Argenal. He is a former assistant for Eric Musselman at Arkansas and Nevada. Last couple of years, he was his head coach at Cal State Bernardino, just like DeGeorge was. Andy Newman was at Bernardino. So in those 2 years, he was 50-20, 31-13 in league play. Went to the Final Four his first year, second round the next year. Does Argenal come in here, Noah, just like Newman did and have instant success at Riverside? This is a good job every year.
Yeah, he's not bringing over like his entire team, but he did handpick a guy, an Andrew Henderson, to bring with him. He's a 6'5" graduate senior guard, played 34 minutes a game at Bernardino last year, averaged 17.5 points, 7 boards, more than an assist, more than a steal per game as well. Shot 36.5% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game. I think he might be able to translate really well into this league as a very nice wing. The Marquis Worthy comes in from Frank Martin's UMass team and is definitely in contention to be a point guard on this team. Last year in 18 minutes, he averaged 2 assists. We'll see what happens with the Highlanders here. They have also got Jalen Daniel Dalton from D2 San Francisco State. He redshirted last year. He's a graduate senior for this upcoming season. He averaged 12, 6.5 with 1.5 assists per game. Really good defender as well. He's got 6'6", length and speed on the wing. And, we'll see how well he recovers. But, he coming in, they're relatively high on. And then a couple other guys, Osiris Grady coming in from Utah Valley. He only played 18 minutes a game for the Wolverines, who were very, very good last year. He's a physical 5 for these guys. And then also Denzel Hines from Coastal Carolina can do a little bit of everything. He's aggressive on the glass as well. He averaged 7 and 6 in 23 minutes with the shots last season. And then 2 shooters off the bench, one from Canisius and Dylan Godfrey. He shot 32% from deep on 4 attempts a game. And then D2 transfer from Westmont, DeAndre Petit. He shot 37% from 3 on 4.5 attempts a game his freshman year there. They have one returner in Parker Strauss. He's his freshman year for Magpio in Riverside. He played 13.5 minutes. And then a couple of walk-on transfers. Daniil Tobaloba from South Florida. He's a 7-footer. And then BJ Colley is a 6'10" grad senior from Montana State. Both of them played under 10 minutes a game at their previous destination, hoping for a little bit more playing time. And you got a sizable freshman class in Argenal's first year here. I got UC Riverside in the bottom half. We'll see what happens. I don't know a whole lot about Argenal, so I'm playing a wait and see approach. I want to watch how Riverside starts to play out in the early November, and then maybe adjust from there. Possible power rating stuff like that. So, Troy, how you feel on this team? Sorry, I called you Capper on accident.
It's all good. Cap and I work as a team anyway, so we can be interchangeable. Riverside, I've got them kind of near the bottom here. Definitely in the bottom half. Again, not a roster where too much stands out. I mean, the USF walk-on transfer, the Toby Loba guy, I mean, having a 7-footer could probably help in this league. But, they probably want to run a little bit. I'm not too sure how the defense is going to look. And, we don't know a lot about Gus Argenal. I would say he looks like he could be a good coach from the photo on the slide. No suit, so maybe not like an established program guy, but maybe a flash in the pan.
Musselman guy, Eric Musselman guy. So, I mean, the roster's new. I'm going to trust that they get better and better throughout the year. Probably a team we want to fade in early part of the year just because it's a new group, but he was able to bring over one of his guys from the previous stop and a couple D2 guys, but banking on a couple other guys transferring from mid-major level to mid-major level. It's a wait-and-see team. I'll probably have them towards the middle just because Riverside's a good program year in and year out, but this is a new era. All right, let's go over to UC San Diego where Eric Olin goes over to New Mexico. Now Clint Allard coming in. He was with Olin for the last 10-plus years. He played at UC San Diego, so they promote within one of their own. They're probably going to play the same way, I would imagine. That's the reason why you promote within. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Olin, of course, last year with a remarkable, magical year going 30-5. Man, I know Olin was a great coach. I think Allard's going to be a nice, young and up-and-coming coach. So I'm going to bank on the continuity here, Noah.
Yeah, continuity within the staff. We'll see what happens because I think most of the returning players on this team aren't going to play a big role. because they were a little bit over recruited in the transfer portal. You got Aiden Burke, Cade Pendleton, Ryder Alisa Aldez, Jason Brooks, and Yakub Mir, all coming back, but barely played last year. And I mean, the identity with UCSD is they'll throw some zone defensively and they can be scrappy and create some turnovers. So that last year they were top 10 nationally. I think the last 2 years they were top 10 nationally.
Yeah.
But offensively, they're going to check up some threes, and that's definitely what they're looking for in this portal class. You bring in Tyson Dunn, who averaged 5.5 assists last year at Buffalo. He shot 32.5% from three on 5 attempts a game as well. He might be your projected point guard. But the big player on the wing is the Louisiana Lafayette transfer, Alex Chaikin, who shot 48% from three on 5 attempts a game, averaged 14 points, 2.5 rebounds, over an assist per game as well, shot 50% from the floor. He's going to be their go-to guy. And then look at Leo Bath. He averaged 3 assists last year for D2 Lynn. He played for Dusty May's Florida Atlantic for 2 seasons. Didn't see the floor a ton, but this to me screams like the Ani Waniwa Tate Jones type of identity player, where he has really good offensive game, but he's not necessarily the 3-point shooter, but he's really talented at passing out of the front court. So look for him to back some guys down. Last year, he averaged 18 points, 9.5 boards, 3 assists, over a steal per game in the Division II level. I look for him to kind of be a main piece of the offense. If they're not running through Dunn, he's going to be a facilitator to the ball for them. You got Bold Dangdit as a big man down low. He played at Portland last year, just 24 minutes a game. He'll have more of an expanded role. He's more of an offensive big man, not much defense yet to his game. We'll see what happens. He's a redshirt junior, so there's room for development, but I don't know how much defense he's got. He shot 38% from three on 2 threes a game, averaged 7.5 and 4 last season. You have Emmanuel Prosper II coming in from D2 Missouri St. Louis. He shot 39.5% from three, averaged 12.5 and 5 with 4 assists. He was a former D1 player. I don't have that on my list here. I'll look that up in a second, but I know he previously played. Trap Johnson, redshirted at Montana State. He comes in. He's a 6'6" wing. And then Dmitry Vukashevich transfers in from Washington State after redshirting his freshman year. He's a 7-footer on the UC San Diego roster as well. I don't have Clint Allard necessarily pushing for a conference title, but there's a lot more to love with this program and their known identity in the Big West than some of the other teams we talked about. I've got them in my top half of the standings as well. Troy, are you as bullish on Allard as Mac and I may be, and what's your outlook for the Tritons this season?
I've got them kind of in that top part of the mid tier. I don't know if they're, I mean,
like 4 or 5.
Yeah, right in that area at that 5 spot, but because you can almost guarantee they're not going to recreate what happened last year, and that wouldn't even be, on Allard. That's a magical year. You had to go and steal my thunder about Leo Breath, but the Lynn transfer, Sunshine State Conference, representing now in the Big West. He's a pretty good passer. I will say that from one of the games I saw tape against Rollins, but the San Diego, I do have them taking a step back, but again, this isn't like a step back in terms of their performance is going to be horrible. It's just compared to a 30-win season, it's going to look like a bit of a step back.
This is one of my favorite rosters. It's just a first-time head coach. And
he's got to prove it to us. And I think we can expect what they were in 23-24. They did finish second that year, but that was a 21-12 year where they finished 15-5 in league play. So I think it's around that ballpark. Maybe a 13-7, 14-6 type team in league play. They're in the top 4 because of culture and just they have an identity in this program. They're going to be efficient offensively. They're going to junk it up defensively. But to expect them to go 30-5, 18-2, and win the regular season and postseason would be a tall task. This is a program that has now won 51 games in 2 years, 33-7 in the last 2 years in the Big West. So I'll bank on culture here to find a way to stay competitive and in contention, but I do like a couple other teams, including this next one. UC Santa Barbara. Joe Pasternack coming over here. He has been at the head of the helm here in UC Santa Barbara since 2017. He's 169-81, friend of the program. He was on the coaches tour last year. 84-50 in Big West games. He's won the regular season twice, been to 2 NCAA tournaments, 3 second-place finishes. He had one down year 2 years ago, a nice bounce back up to the top 5. Do they climb back here into that 27-win range, Noah?
Yeah, I think so. I have this team as the other contender for a conference title this season. You look at Hassana Katenge, who's a Louisiana transfer. He missed last year due to a torn ACL, but he's a 6'8" graduate senior and can do it all at the 5. Played 26.5 minutes a season ago, averaged 12, 6.5 boards, 2 assists, over a steal per game, a block per game, shot 56% from the floor, 33% from 3. He is, I think, your favorite to win Player of the Year in this conference. And alongside Aiden Mahaney, who comes in from UConn. He had so much more success in 2 seasons at St. Mary's. Comes back to California, hoping to tap into some of that similar success that he had with the Gales as a 3-point shooter, also being on the ball a little bit more than he was with UConn in just 12 minutes a game for the Huskies in Danny Hurley. Miro Little is your projected point guard, though. He averaged 3 assists a game last year for Utah in 17.5 minutes. He's a 6'4" junior guard who isn't as good of a shooter as Mahaney. That was always the thing with Mahaney at St. Mary's, whether he was going to be point guard or whether he was better as a shooting guard and worked better off the ball. And I think within Pasternack's system, he's always had really good shooting guards. And I think Mahaney's going to be a perfect fit for him, just building back that confidence and playing a lot more minutes than he did with UConn. And then that transfer class also has Marvin McGee, the 4th, transferred in from Cal State Bakersfield in this conference last year. In his career in general, he's been a really good player. 6'6" junior forward, played 16 minutes, can stretch out and shoot the 3 ball as well. Shot 47% from deep on 2.5 attempts. That's your transfer portal class, and they bring back 6 guys from last year. 2 of them played 20-plus minutes. Jason Fontenette, the 2nd, is a 6'6" junior wing, played 29.5 minutes, averaged 10, 6, and 2.5 assists, shot 32% from 3 on 3 attempts a game. And then Colin Smith, a 6'8" redshirt junior forward, played 20 minutes a game and averaged 43% from deep on 3.5 attempts per game. You've got Zion Sensley, Coet Keat Tong, Zakiah Clark, Evans Kipruto, who were all bench pieces last year that may be rotational pieces this year. So there's some depth to be reasonable on when you're prognosticating the potential for this team, trusting Pasternack's offensive talent development in this program. I do not have them at winning the regular season title, but I am bullish on Santa Barbara returning to form once again this season.
Yeah, I'm pretty bullish on this team too. Just, Miro Little, you get Colin Smith, all of these transferred down guys. And then, of course, Mahaney kind of bumps him up a whole step on his own. I do kind of like the angle of not taking them to win in the regular season, but maybe McHaney's shooting kind of carries them through that tournament or something like that. This team should go to the NCAA tournament, though.
I mean that I like the high major backcourt, Mahaney and the kid from Utah. So Little and Mahaney, and then bringing back 2 starters as well. This I think that this should be a team that should be right there, them and Irvine neck and neck to win the league. So let's rank them 1 to 11. Get back over here.
I was gonna say, I think Clark's right. You got to take Mahaney Conference Player of the Year.
Yeah, and he should have a chip on his shoulder with how shitty he played at UConn. So
Oh yeah,
he was a dog at St. Mary's.
Yeah, and this is a league below the WCC. So he should be really good and efficient here. They can play him on the ball or off the ball. Mahaney should have a huge year. But do we all have Fullerton at 11?
Yeah, I got Fullerton 11th, and I've got Bakersfield 10th. I think those are two pretty easy predictions there.
Yeah, that's the bottom two for me.
All right, let's get into it. Noah, where are you going 9?
9, I will go. I'm going to go.
You want Troy to go?
No, I'll go.
I mean,
I'll go Long
he
Beach
can
State
go
at 9 if that's what you were needed a push towards. But I've got Long Beach State at 9.
I am going to go UC Riverside 9.
I went Long Beach 9 as well. Acker year 2. Hey, out of the basement, but
I have Long Beach 8. So it was between them and Riverside that I was hemming and hawing a little bit more.
Riverside's my 8.
Riverside's 8 for me too. Gus Argenal year 1. Got to see it. 7, Noah.
7th, I will go with. I'm going to go UC Davis. They've had 2 straight top 3 defenses. The portal has some offensive pop, but they've just kind of hovered around 500 recently. I can't have them higher than that.
That's also my number 7, UC Davis.
I figured the bottom half would all look the same here. All right, let's get into the good part. 1 through 6. 6, where you going, Noah?
Cal Poly. They returned the most minutes out of any team last year, and I like Mike DeGeorge. They just don't return like many starters, so that's where I have some hesitation here. I've got them 6th. I've got them taking another step up and winning a few more games this year. That's as high as I could put the Mustangs, though.
Yeah, it feels like if they keep progressing, because I also have Cal Poly 6, it feels like if they keep progressing, DeGeorge's name is going to start getting tossed around.
Could be. At number 6, I'm going to go. I think I'm going to go Northridge. I like Newman. I like this program, but they don't return a lot. It's more so I'm just banking on Newman as a coach to figure out the identity of this team by league play. I think they're closer to 500. I think if they play 20 games, they'll go 11-9 and finish 6th.
5th, I've got Northridge, so a lot of the same feelings there as you. They've got 6 seniors in the potential rotation here. There's really good depth as well for the Matadors. And I think Newman's got this thing headed in the right direction. So 5th.
5th for me is where the Tritons fall back to. Got UCSD at 5.
Okay. At 5, I got the Rainbow Warriors. I got Hawaii, Ganot and company. He seems to always finish in the top 5 outside of 1 year last year. So I think he gets back into the top 5 as a competitive team with all this experience.
Yeah. Hawaii, 4th, experience and depth. I got the Rainbow Warriors there.
I've got CSUN 4th. I'm a little higher on them than UCSD, but I wouldn't be surprised if those two were, flip-flopped, kind of like you had them at 5th, right, Noah? CSUN?
Yep.
Yeah, 5 and 4 is kind of my debate between those two, so you could tie them, but I've got CSUN 4th.
This is going to be my sleeper here at 4. I'm pretty sure when we look at the rankings. I got Cal Poly. I got the Mustangs. I think DeGeorge, they take another big step here, year 2. Bring back all that experience. I think I like a couple of the pieces that they're bringing in to complement that experience. Give me DeGeorge to crack the top 4 with that offense.
Number 3 is one of my favorite rosters in the league, UC San Diego. I think it fits so well together. And they have some returning pieces to kind of provide some depth there. I don't know if any of them are really going to play big minutes for the Tritons this year. My only hesitation, the only reason why I press the brakes is Clint Allard in his first year. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, I've got the Rainbow Warriors at number 3 in the high tier of this conference, taking a step forward.
I went the Tridents of UC San Diego. Culture, top 3 finish again. Allard, I think we'll keep that thing right there to contend. And all 3 of us had the same 2. Irvine and Santa Barbara. Give out 2 and 1, Noah.
I've got Santa Barbara second. To me, it's just, 8 seasons in a row here for Pasternack at UC Santa Barbara. He's had top 4 offenses. In 4 of those 8 seasons, he's had the number 1 offense in the Big West. But he's never really had very good defenses, and that's always what you can count on with Irvine. And Irvine brings back 8 guys in this program. They get their point guard from Stanford, who previously played 17 minutes a game as a freshman in this program. He knows the system that Turner's wanting to run. It's a consistently very good defense. They have so much continuity under the best coach in the conference. I had the Anteaters winning it.
Yeah, I have the same one too. I still have Irvine winning this regular season for pretty much all the reasons that Noah said. I just think that they know how to do it, and they've got a team of returnees that also know how to do it. I do like UC Santa Barbara, the ability for their offense to get hot, and those games between those 2 are always good anyways, but this year it'll carry a little bit more weight with the unstoppable force versus immovable object, offense versus defense there. But yeah, I'll go with Irvine winning the regular season.
I guess I'll be the different one. Give me Barbara to win the regular season. Irvine too. I like that backcourt. I think they'll be really good come conference play. Santa Barbara will be tested, I think, in the non-con. And Pasternack wins his 3rd regular season title. 1 game over Russell Turner. I could see them tying, though. I could see them splitting and both going like 15-5, and then we may have the rubber match out west to see who goes to the NCAA tournament. Noah, who wins a tourney?
Do I want to be different?
Fullerton.
Yeah, Fullerton.
Where is the tourney? Vegas? I think it's in Vegas.
That wouldn't make sense with half their team playing in California.
I mean, everything's in Vegas. Let me check.
I'm going to go Irvine. I think they've got a little bit of everything. They check all the boxes. I was trying to maybe get a little bit cute with either the Gauchos or possibly even the Tritons. But, I mean, Irvine's got all that continuity, good guard play, good rim defense. I mean, they just check a lot of boxes for me under the best coach in the conference.
I want to pick Hawaii because I said I would, but I'm going to take UCSB. I think by the time you get to the tournament, being able to execute offense at the end of the game is going to be invaluable. I'll go with the Gauchos to get the NCAA tournament bid. It is in Vegas, by the way.
Yeah, it's in Henderson, Nevada. So, yeah, even though their whole league's in California, in Hawaii, they're like, let's go to Vegas, let's party it up. I got Santa Barbara. I got them winning both. I think guards win in March. I think Pasternack gets back to his 3rd NCAA tournament. They beat Irvine in the final. Irvine runner-up once again under Turner here for the 3rd or 4th straight year.
Yeah. So your preseason poll, they're doing a coaches poll. UC Irvine is the number 1 team. They have 8 of the 11 coaches' votes. UC Santa Barbara received the other 3 first-place votes. They are 2nd. Hawaii 3rd, UC San Diego 4th, CSUN 5th, UC Davis 6th, Cal Poly 7th, Long Beach State 8th, Riverside 9th, Bakersfield 10th, and Fullerton 11th. That looks very similar to my ranking, guys.
Yeah, I think we all have Long Beach as our bust. Didn't you say Long Beach was 7th in the poll? 8th. Oh, shit.
So do we want to pivot and do last year's standings, how we've done almost half of these conferences?
Yeah, we could do that.
So I think there was a clear tier 1, and that was UC San Diego and UC Irvine last year going 18-2 and 17-3 respectively.
Yeah.
There was a tie for 3 in Northridge and Riverside. And I think Riverside would be your easy pick for a disappointing year after such a good year in their Magpio last year, right?
I'll take San Diego.
UC San Diego is taking a bigger step back.
As a step back. Yeah, it's not really a bust because I still have them, fifth? I even mentioned like fifth or fourth was kind of a debate.
Okay.
But I guess if we're going to go off of not off the coaches poll where we're all kind of step by step with it, I'll take UC San Diego to not finish in the top 2 or 3 or something like that.
All right. Yeah, I'm going Riverside there, Mac.
Yeah, I'm on Riverside. Year one coach change, a lot of whole new roster.
And then sleeper, I'm back on Hawaii. Last year they were third to last. I've got them fourth.
Hawaii.
Cal Poly, top 4, man. DeGeorge, let's take a step. So, all right, man. That I just counted. We have 8 to go. We got one more coming tonight. The WCC. The SEC will be Sunday. Big Ten will be Monday with the Ivy, and then we got Conference USA, the Valley, AAC, and A10 later in that week before we give out our final episode 1 week from tonight. So stretch run, Bienick, 10 days till opening night. I don't know if you caught it. I was on MGM today, and they said, do you want to talk Heisman or do you want to talk SWAC basketball? I said, SWAC basketball. Let's go. Don't sleep on Bethune-Cookman this year. So, yeah, I can't wait. The season is upon us. The marathon show is 9 days away. Sunday night. Oh, man. God damn, it's here. I probably should go to bed. I probably shouldn't go out on the town tonight. I need to get my rest. So, I got to train the body, man, for these marathons all the way up to the Final Four in Indy. But go make sure you go check out at Troy Tuning, all his work. You'll see him here in a couple minutes on the WCC preview. Go check out Noah Bienick at NoahB77_. Breaking down all the college baseball hires to AKA the Vols. I am at Moneyline_Mac. We are the College Basketball Experience. I think my eyes are fixed now. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here. See you shortly. Play.